Good morning, everyone. Buenos dias, namaste. Welcome to class. So this morning I want to talk for a bit. So I want you to just follow me as we chat for a bit. So we're going to warm up so that I can tell you a little bit about the rest of the class. But I want you to just be moving your shoulders, just going a little bit side to side, okay? So we're going to start in a moment with our prayers and everything, but I've been thinking about this class for a couple of days now, and let's make circles. And I wanted to have us go into the components of Surya Namaskar, of sun salute, just because that is something that we often do. We'll get up, we'll do a couple of sun salutes and call that good, right? Which is a great thing to do. But sometimes the intricacies of the poses we're not paying close attention to. So continue with your circles, change directions when you need to. So I want to pay close attention to all of the elements that make up the sun salute today. So in a moment, we're going to do one just as a model, and then we're going to break down every pose that's in there. So all well, there's really 11 of them, but they are the same thing on either side. So there's really just 6. Okay, so let's take our arms up overhead and just grab up there for a moment and just lean a little bit over to the left. And then switch wrist and lean a little bit over to the right. And then I want to do something to help us think about torsion for a minute, because that's the only thing that the sun salute doesn't have, is anything that twists us. So we may add that in a little while. But just coming over, all the way over, leaning to the right for a second. And then when you lean to the right and you have that compression over on the right side, open your chest up a little to the left and then close it back down. And then open it up to the left. Shoulder can be the mover, the shaker and the mover. And one more time. Up. Good. And then come back and just release the left arm and then head over to the right. And a healthy spine can open and close and open and close and open and close while it's in that flexion to the side. Okay, coming all the way up. Let's work on our legs and our legs for just a second. Okay, so just your legs, put your feet together for a moment, hold on to your knees, and then just bring them up and down just for a little while. Okay, we're even going to stop and do our prayers, but I just want us to get a little bit flexed before we do that. Good. Up and down. You control it with your hands, not making your legs do anything. You're controlling it, getting a little bit of slishaka kappa in the joints, a little bit of that lubrication that we love so much. Okay. And then just extend out and make little circles. Extend out your left one, little circles with the right, just a little bit. Okay. And then all the way up and down 3 times. Okay, and then let it go, and then bring in the right one. Okay, little circles first, and then the other direction, and then just up and down a little. Okay, and bring it back. And then let's come on to our knees for a moment, like a little kid. And let's do our prayers from this position, okay? So we're sitting back on our heels. Our toes are curled under. Hopefully our spine is relatively erect. We have all of our regular curves. It just reminds me of drawing of a little child about to go to bed at night saying his or her prayers. So bringing the hands into the heart to Anjali Mudra. Okay? So just settle into your seat for a minute. Feel your spine reach up toward the ceiling as your legs, knees, toes reach down to the floor. On your next exhale, draw in your belly button. And then inhale into the chest region. Good. Exhale all the way out. And let's do one Om after your next inhale. Now find an intention for a moment for your practice today. And offering someone or something that needs a little extra oomph and that you can offer this practice up to. And then let one more close the intention and oh. And on an inhale breath, let your eyes flutter open. And then just take your hands down for a moment. Come back onto the ball of the foot. So roll off the toes. Hopefully they got a little bit of opening. And then just help yourself up. Come on up. All the way up to standing. Good. So I'm going to go in a second to the side, but I want to start our namaskar so that we're really understanding to be stable, okay? So find your spot where your feet are hip distance apart and not out here where your hips are the edge of your hips, right underneath the socket. So just your thigh bones cantilever in and then go down, okay? So find that spot because getting this is critical when we come back and forth to this pose. So having our Tadasana. So we're just going to do a couple of sun salutes without a lot of talking about them. And then we're going to come back into each of the poses. Okay. So at the front of your mat, at the top of your mat, find your Tadasana with all of your natural curves. Lift your pelvic floor, pull in your belly, hands to the heart. We often use this to warm up everything. Okay. Take a nice inhale. As you exhale, just release your hands and arms, flip your palms to the front, opening your shoulders, and then inhale, arms floating up, out to the side if you can, gaze up. And then as we exhale, beginning to dive forward, hinging at the hip, not at the waist, at the hip. If you're not inverting, then stay right here and look forward, hands to the shins. If you're inverting, you can come all the way down, crown of the head toward the floor. This is our first one. Our hamstrings are singing to us usually. Good. And then inhale and look forward if you went down. Hands and feet to the floor. So bend your knees as much as you need to get your hands on either side of your feet, and then stepping your left leg back into a lunge. Drop to the knee and stay down. Good. Come off the back knee. Place your palms firmly down. We're going to step. Good. Let's drop to our knees. And here we're going to make our way down to the floor. So for now, you can make your way any way you'd like. You can go to, well, we have our knees down, so it would be 6 or 8 parts bowing. 6 if you hover, 8 if you touch chest and chin. And then we come into little baby cobras. Stretch out your feet, toenails to the floor. Be sure you can lift your hands. And then curl the toes under, and we're going to press into mountain. So if you're not inverted, just visit for a second and come into plank. If you're inverting, just find mountain, often called downward facing dog. Babaji called it mountain pose, and since we were on a mountain, it seemed very apropos. On your next inhale, look at the space between your hands, stepping your left foot over by your left hand. Now we're going back in the opposite direction. We're going to keep it low. If you stretched out the back foot, which is really good for it, curl it under. And we're going to come off the back knee and inhale, a little hop to the front, long spine. You can stay looking forward or exhale, fold. And then inhale, arms to the sides, coming up. Gaze up and exhale, hands into Anjali. Second side, inhale, arms floating up. Exhale, let's take our dive forward. Remember just to look forward if you're not inverting. And now right leg back into a lunge. Drop to the knee. We can stay low this first time. And then curl the back foot under, come off the knee, press the plank. Good. Drop to the knees, 6 or 8 parts bowing. And little baby cobras. Curl the toes under. You can come through table and back into mountain. Inhale and look at the space between your hands. Right foot over by your right hand. Drop to your knee. Let's stay low. And then off the back knee, inhale, a little hop to the front, long spine. Fold if you'd like. Inhale, arms to the sides, coming up, all the way up. And exhale, hands into the heart. Okay? So we did one set. Let's come back into the middle of your mat for a moment and just do a few things that are going to help us then go into sun salute. Just wiggle your hips a little. Want to play with the hip flexors right here. Come over just to parallel to the floor, make a right angle with the body, and then exhale up. One more time. Come over and exhale up. Good. And then heel toe, come back together and find your Tadasana. So it's really important that the Tadasana be our strong, also Tadasana can mean mountain pose, okay? Babaji called this pose palm tree pose. But we are nice and stable. And you can see I have my lumbar curve, not overly. I'm not dumping anything forward. And I'm also not pushing my pelvis forward and flattening out my back. I have my natural lumbar curve. I have my curve in my neck. It's really made because of my head being on top of my neck, the curve there. Okay, so nice, tall spine. So finding your Tadasana, good. And then when we inhale and go the very first time into Urdhva Tadasana, or upward reaching palm tree, we're looking up. Any back bend that happens here, which can happen, will be thoracic. You never will thrust your hips forward. So you can show your sternum a little bit to the ceiling if you like, otherwise stay up and stable. And then come back into neutral. So you can make that decision, but notice how the hips don't move. The only thing that moves is the thoracic spine where I have ribs, okay? Good, and then let's make our way over. Let's do flat, what we call flat back. So place the hands below the knees, reach into your shins and keep the knees gently soft and press in. Get long in the spine. And then if you're not inverting, you would stay here for a moment. If you are inverting, this is the time that our hamstrings get a little bit of hopefully a little relaxation in a moment. But initially when you go down, they're going to usually sing. Tuck the chin in toward the chest so the upper spine rounds. And then look forward, so almost to the flat back. Bend your knees, hands to the floor. So in this almost runner's lunge, okay? Both feet are on the floor solid, everything is on the floor solid. Your knees are deeply bent. And now left foot back to a lunge. Bobby, it's led to the left side. Down knee. You can stay here and keep it low. This works on the psoas on the left leg. You can also, let's try these options. Bring your hands to your front knee with still a no back bend. You can come up and add a little back bend. Arms can come up overhead. You can also come off the back knee and add a little back bend. So this pose can be wherever you'd like, depending upon how you're feeling. Okay. Off the back knee now. So hands and feet to the floor, hands and front foot to the floor, and then sweep the front leg back to meet it into plank. Press the floor away, lots of space between your shoulder blades. Drop to your knees as soon as you'd like. Good. And then decide how to make your way. A really good, nice way for someone who doesn't have it yet a lot of arm strength is coming down to the forearms, palms flat on the floor, and then stretching out into Sphinx rather than Cobra. So that's an option. So 6 parts bowing, 8 parts bowing. You can also do Chaturanga, which is 4 parts, 4 limbs. Okay. So we're either in Cobra with no hands or Sphinx with our forearms on the floor. If we're in Sphinx, we need to come down and bring our hands back underneath our shoulders, curl the toes under, and let's press into mountain. And if you're not doing mountain because you're not inverting, you're on your first few days of your menstrual cycle, or you have glaucoma or eye pressure problems or uncontrolled high or low blood pressure. So you may not want to invert. So that's fine. Come back into plank. And you can always take plank here with your knees down, continuing to press the floor away. But for the rest of us who are in mountain, look back and make sure you cannot see your heels. So your knees and your toes are in the second and third toes are in the same direction. See if you can spread your sit bones a little. And you're looking for a diagonal line from your middle fingers up through your wrist, all the way through the shoulders and into the sit bones on either side. Good. And then inhale, look at the space between your hands. And this is really a crucial thing, how you're going to get your left foot back to the front. So I don't want you to swing down to the side. That destabilizes the pelvis. So I want you, if you need to swing it to the side, go down to your right knee and then swing it around. But be sure you're on your right knee. Do not swing it because it will destabilize your SI joint, okay? Otherwise, if you're up in mountain and you can bring it forward, you can always bring it a little bit, pick up and bring it the rest of the way. Right, the knee needs to be right over the ankle. So take the time to get that position, the knee right over the ankle. Good, right over it, and then drop to your back knee or take any of those variations of the lunge. I'm adding a little back bend, crescent, moon. And then slowly let your hands and arms make their way back down to the floor. Come off the back knee and let's take an inhale, a little hop to the front, long spine. Exhale, fold. And inhale, arms to the sides. Coming up, that little tiny back bend if we'd like, thoracic spine only. And exhale, hands into the heart. Good. So that was one side slowly. We're going to go to the second side relatively slowly. But before you go, I want you to think about what you do to get to the floor. Make a decision and stick with that decision. You can go down on your forearms. You can go down into 6 parts bowing, 8 parts bowing, 4 parts, 4 limbs, however you like to go down. Okay? Good. So finding your Tadasana, hands into the heart. So this time it's right side. Okay? Take a nice inhale. Exhale, float the arms down, open the palms. Inhale, out to the side and up. Exhale, beginning our journey down. If you need to take catch breaths, just the focus is the exhale. Inhale, come about halfway up, and exhale, right leg back into a lunge. You can drop to the knee, you can stay up, you can take whichever lunge you'd like. Remember, each of them has a little different pranic energy, has a little different effect on the body-mind complex. I'm staying low. You decide. Good. And then stand off the back knee and step to plank. Long line of energy. Even if you feel like you can only hold it for a few seconds, you get long, press through your heels, then drop to your knees. So find the space first. Good. Spread out the space between your shoulder blades. Really press the floor away. Pull your belly in. And on your next exhale, headed to the floor, however you'd like to get there. And then our next inhale, cobra or sphinx. Firmly into the floor. Good. And then curl the toes under. And let's press back into mountain or plank or child's pose, anything that you feel would benefit your practice right now. I like to pause for 5 breaths in mountain, kind of recalibrating. Notice you cannot see your heels, they're hidden. There's no rotation, inner or outer, on your legs. On your next inhale, look at the space between your hands. If you'd like to swing it out to the side, drop to your left knee and draw the right foot underneath the knee. Good. And then taking the lunge any way you'd like. Remember, anything that you'd like, even off the back knee, depending on the strength you need and want. And then if you took your arms up overhead, slowly begin to draw the arms back down to Mother Earth. And then if you're on your back knee, come off. And then on our next inhale, a little hop to the front, long spine. Exhale, fold if you're inverting. If not, stay long. And arms to the sides, all the way up. And exhale, hands into Anjali. Good. Okay. So hopefully that made it a little bit smoother. And when we have our talk today, you can tell me places that you hit stops, okay? Anything that was challenging or anything you'd like to work through. But for now, let's do one more set of sun salutation. So we'll do either side. Good. And then when we come out of our last sun salutation, we'll come down to the floor and work through twisting and a few things that are not included here, okay? And we can always add a twist and still do the classical one, all right? Take a nice inhale. Exhale, arms floating down, palms flipping out. Inhale, arms out to the side and up. Exhale, diving forward. Inhale, about halfway up, long spine, hands and feet to the floor, left leg back into a lunge. Take the lunge any way you'd like. If you took the arms up, float them down, come off the back knee, and step to plank. Long line of energy. Drop to your knees. Take a nice inhale. Spread the space in the shoulders. And as you exhale, elbows head back, not to the sides, lowering. Chest and chin can touch or hover. And cobra. So small that your hands can come up. Lay your toes out. All toenails into the floor. And then curl the toes under and press into mountain. 5 breaths. And on your next inhale, look at the space between your hands. Remember, you can drop down to your right leg. You're going to bring it forward. Stack the ankle underneath the knee. Taking your lunge wherever you'd like. Floating the arms back down. If you took it on the knee, come off the knee. Inhale, a little hop to the front, long spine. Exhale, fold. And inhale, arms to the side, coming up, all the way up. And exhale, hands into Anjali. Second side. Inhale, arms floating up, gazing up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, looking forward. And exhale, right leg back into a lunge. Drop to the knee. You can take it low. Remember, you can always keep your hands at the knee, wherever you'd like. Float the arms down, come off the back knee, and step to plank. Long line of energy. Pull in the belly, press through the heels. Drop to the knees, nice inhale. And slowly, elbows headed forward. And cobra or sphinx. Forearms. Stretch through your toes. And then curl the toes under and press into mountain. Five delicious, smooth breaths. Can't see your heels. Bend your knees as much as you need to get that long spine, pushing back, making a mountain, a volcano, not a hill. And on your next inhale, look at the space between your hands, stepping your right foot over by your right hand. You can always go to your left knee. Taking your lunge. And then floating the arms down. On your next inhale, come off the back knee, a little hop to the front, long spine. Exhale, fold. And inhale to the sides, coming up, all the way up. And exhale, hands into Anjali. Good job. Okay. So finding your Tadasana, being still for just a moment. And we're going to step our feet apart because Sun Salute doesn't have any leg rotation in it. So we're just going to do a little bit of rotation just for that purpose, keeping our legs and hips nice and flexible. Okay. So let's spread apart. Knees and second and third toe are headed in the same direction. Good. Lift up through the pelvic floor. Pull in your belly. We're going to externally rotate the left leg and then unrotate it. Okay, I've got my hands on my belly, making sure I keep it intact. And then I'm going to come up with my right heel and externally rotate my right leg and put it back. Okay, same thing again. Lift up your left heel and rotate. Bend the knee and back. Lift up your right heel. Your knee is bent and rotate and bring it back. One more time to either side, okay? Let's just take our arms up. Reach out to either side for a moment. Go ahead, peel up the left heel, bend the left knee. Open it, straighten the leg. Bend the knee and unrotate. Good. Same thing on the right side. Bend the knee, lift up the heel, rotate, straighten, bend, lift up the heel, and unrotate. Good. Just resting your arms to the side. Let's heel toe, enough to come down into a nice squat for a moment. Good. And then take yourself all the way to the floor. Legs in front into Dandasana staff pose. Toes are toward the ceiling, heels are firmly on the floor. Finding yourself at a right angle. Upper body is soft, body is working. Feet are flexed. Big toe knuckles are touching, heels are separate. Heels should not be together. If you have your heels together, you've already put your legs in external rotation. Good. And then bring the soles of the feet together and just see if it feels more comfortable than in the beginning of class. Good. And then go ahead and bring in your right heel toward your left heel, just a little bit on top, if that feels okay. So not a full lotus or anything even close to it, just a little bit of movement there. You can and my right foot has my left thigh on top of it. Okay. So find this easy pose, often called half lotus. And you can lift up a bit and make sure your sit bones are both even and firmly onto the floor. We're going to take a little bit of a twist out to the left side and then exhale, return. So remember Babaji's method of increasing pranic energy and having something against which to resist. It's to inhale as you're growing the twist, okay? So exhaling the breath out and then inhaling. As you start your inhale, let it move you top of the inhale, fully twisted, and then exhale, return. Right? Again. One more. Good. And then go ahead and remove your left foot. Good. Just put it out in front, both of them in front for a moment, just a nice big diamond. And then go ahead and bring in the left heel close to the groin. And your foot is just out in front. And then see if you can stack the other one. Okay. And if not, just grab a block and do anything you need to make it comfortable and accessible. And you can always just put the foot on the floor, leave it there. It's no big deal. If that were the case, I'd put a block under there so it's fully supported. Okay. So whichever of the easy poses you're in, we're going to use our in breath to build the twist, inhaling and twisting over to the right, and exhale, return. 3 more times. Inhale and exhale, return. Again. One last one. Perfect. Then let's try with our arms out to the side again. We're going to bring the arms up, make a V, flip the palms to face one another, and just make a V for a moment. Reaching up, your arms can be reaching up, the scapula can be high. Just breathing. And then lower your left arm. And the same thing we did at the beginning. So a little bit of flexion over to the left side, and then we're going to open to the right and close. 2 more times. Open, close. Keep your sit bones solid on the floor. Open and close. Good. And then press back up, find your V. Release the right hand. Good. A little bit of compression, so bending the right elbow. This flexion over to the right side. And then open and close. Open to the left. Open. Let the shoulder lead and close. One more. And release the arm. Make some circles. Other direction with the shoulders. Good. And then just for a moment, close your eyes in the seated pose. Just close the eyes for a moment. Relax your arms wherever they are. Relax your legs wherever they are. And just notice how you feel in body, breath, and mind. Triputi, the 3 energies coming together in our form. Body, breath, mind. And then on your next inhale, letting your eyes flutter open. So if you can invert today, we're going to use bridge pose as our inversion, and you can use it supported or not. I'm going to teach it both ways. If you're not inverting, this would be a perfect time for you to take a little leg wall and lying down and putting your legs somewhere along the wall. If you have any blood pressure issues at all, then you would want to just have the legs not too elevated, but you're welcome to take your bottom to the wall and put your legs all the way up. So if you're not inverting, you're going to decide which is the best pose for you with your legs up the wall, but your bottom is on the floor. If you're for you to try pose with me, I'm going to give you some instructions and you can decide if they work for you. Have your block handy in case you decide you'd like to support the bridge with the block, okay? So finding yourself lying down with your feet on the floor. Your knees are no wider than your pelvic basket. So wherever that inner bones, it's called adductus bones, your anterior, superior, iliac spine, iliac is your pelvis. So those bones are lined right up with your knee, okay? So as you're lying there, roll your shoulders back and down to the floor. So you'll start to see that your ribs start to come off a little bit. Press into the elbows and feel your whole spine come off a little bit, just a little bit. Your bottom's still on the floor. And then relax. Okay, we're going to do that one more time. Roll your shoulders up to your ears and then down to the floor. Press into your shoulders and all the way through the elbows, shoulders and elbows. Feel your whole spine begin to arch off the floor, but your bottom's still down. Good. And then release it one more time. Just breathe for a moment. And then one last time, roll the shoulders back and down. And this time, as you press into the shoulders and the ribs begin to lift, lift your hips off the floor. See if you can find a diagonal line from the shoulders to the hips. Good. And then pressing your arms all the way into the floor. So straighten your arms, put your hands firmly on the floor, press into the arms, the elbows, and the shoulders, and lift your spine. You are actually creating a bridge pose. Press into the hands. Keep pressing the hands into the floor. Press into the feet. Lift the thighs. If you're not inverting, don't do this. Go calm the wall. Now, if you'd like a block, you can always right underneath you for a moment, underneath your sacrum. Go there. You can put it right underneath your sacrum, or you can just keep pressing into your hands and lifting your spine. You decide. Take a little glance at the wall behind you so that you can get some space behind your cervical spine, which is your neck, so a mouse can run under. And then slowly, as you're ready, just begin to drop your hips to the floor, take your shoulders out of the way, and relax into the floor. Good. And then our last pose, I want to take it very slowly. And those of you who have your legs up the wall, you're also welcome to do this pose, and you can do it just with your legs where they are, okay? So those of us that are still in bridge, our knees are still bent. You're going to take your right knee into the chest, but do it without your hands. Just right knee into the chest. Just that knee coming in by itself, creating a little pressure in the colon, and then extend out the left leg. Extend way out in the left leg. Press through the heel. Keep the foot on the floor. Pavan Muktasan, wind release pose. And those of you who have your legs up the wall, you just keep the leg there, and you're just letting of its own accord the right leg in, ascending colon. And then bend the left knee, put it again firmly on the floor, take the right leg back to meet it. So now you're there. If your legs are on the wall, just put them on the wall. Then draw in your left leg into the chest, but don't use hands, just as far as the leg will come of its own accord. descending colon. When you're ready, stretch out through your right foot. Put the foot on the floor. Good. And then bend the right knee, put the foot on the floor, let the left leg join it, and just relax for a moment. Feel your natural lumbar curve. Let your lumbar come off the floor for a little, just a little smidgen, maybe a very flat lizard could crawl underneath. And then we're going to make our way into Shavasana, corpse pose. Okay, I'm going to sit up so I can mind the time, and you're going to lie down. So lying down, and don't feel trapped by your mat, feeling that you are extended way beyond your mat like a starfish, but keep your hands below your heart. Okay, keeping the hands below the heart. Finding a perfect spot to relax, rest, renew. Check in with your jaw. Just relaxing the whole body. The breath becomes soft and shallow, just enough to sustain you. For just a moment, flex your right foot, tighten your right leg, your right hip, and release it. Flex your left foot, tighten the left leg and the left hip, squeeze, and release it. Make a fist with the right arm, right hand, whole arm, press it into the floor, squeeze it, and release it. Make a fist with the left arm, press it all the way into the floor, and release it. Press the whole of your trunk down to the floor. Press, 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 and release it. Scrunch up your face as much as you possibly can. Scrunch it up, scrunch it up, scrunch it up, and release it. Let the breath float with you. Slowly and gently, minding the breath, just noticing it in the belly or the chest, feeling it enrich every cell of your body. Bringing your senses online slowly, eyes moving in the sockets, tongue moving in the mouth, wiggling your ears, wriggling your nose, swimming your fingers and twinkling your toes. Slowly deciding how you're going to make your way into embryo pose on either side. You can curl up, you can shrink in, you can stretch out. Any way you'd like to make your way over into embryo, all curled up there, safe and secure. Take your time. And then slowly, as you're ready, begin to press the floor away, spiraling up into a comfortable seat, any seat you'd like. Finding yourself comfortable. Good. And just sitting for a moment and letting everything integrate into the practice. Again, body, breath, mind. How's the quality of your thoughts? And then on an inhale, letting your eyes flutter open. We're going to do a little bit of pranayama because Surya Namaskar is a heating practice. We're going to do a couple of cooling breaths. And so go get whatever you might need for your meditation afterwards so that you're not up and going back down and you're finding what you need. Okay. So once we start our pranayama, I'd love for you just to stay where you are and then try to just move yourself slowly into a meditative state. Okay. So the pranayama we're going to start with is called Sitkari. And it's Sitkari means hissing breath. Okay. So it's a cooling breath. We're going to take an inhale through our mouth so that the air is actually touching all of the cilia on the teeth and everything. And then we're going to close our mouth and pause and exhale out the nose. Okay. So it can be an abdominal breath. You're going to inhale, putting the tongue where the teeth meet the roof of the mouth with a big smile on your face. Pause and exhale out the nose. Pause, then exhale out the nose. So into the belly. So the diaphragm drops rather than spreads to the side. Okay. So let's try a couple of rounds together. So exhaling the breath all the way out. Inhaling belly. Pause. Exhale nose. Inhale belly. Pause. Exhale nose. So it's not a big breath because it's not going into the chest. It's just staying in the belly. And exhale, chest. And then just notice for a moment how your mouth feels, if it feels cooler, if you feel cooler. Good. And then the other practice, it's genetic, whether you can do it or not. If you can roll your tongue, you're going to breathe. Instead of hissing the breath in, you're going to bring in the cooling breath, sheetali. Sheetali just means cooling. So you're going to bring in a cooling breath through a rolled tongue. Also into the belly, a pause, lay the tongue out in the mouth, and exhale out the nose. So either staying with the hissing breath, which all of us can do, or trying out the cooling breath, which both are cooling breaths. Okay? So exhaling the breath all the way out. Stay with hissing if you don't roll your tongue. But if you do roll and stick it out about a centimeter, pause at the top, and exhale. Again. Pause and exhale at the nose. So roll the tongue, stick it out a little bit. Inhale. Pause and exhale. Good. One more. Good. And then just sitting for a moment and feeling the effects, just noticing the temperature in your body, in your mind, in the breath. This morning, if you'd like to form a mudra, you can let your tips of the thumbs and the tips of the index fingers touch into Jnani Mudra, the mudra of wisdom, and just resting the backs of the hands on the legs. You don't need to have a mudra. If it doesn't feel comfortable, let it go. And if you'd like a mantra to tether you so the thoughts don't interrupt so frequently, aham on the inhale, shanti on the exhale. I am peace. You're welcome to do it in English. Aham on the inhale, shanti on the exhale. I am peace. So Sanskrit or English, you decide. Mantra and mudra, spine erect, relaxed body. Aham shanti. I am peace. Really bringing the hands into the heart. Anjali Mudra. Any merit we may have earned this morning in our diligent practice of yoga, we lift it up to the welfare of all sentient beings. Remember your intention. Remember your offering. Bring those things into your mind fully. Let them blossom for a moment. And then letting them drop down slowly into the heart space. And then symbolically from the heart space right into the palms of your hands. And then slowly, gently lift it up as an offering, up and out into the universe. Just let it go. Bring it the Om Tat Sat. Ooh, I'll be right there. All right, let me fix it where you can speak first. Okay, let me remove the spotlight. And now let me get it where I can see all of you. Yes. All right. Nice to see you this morning. How is everyone? How did you, if you say Spanish, how did you breathe? Let's see, there's a couple of things in the chat. Okay. Oh, hi, Jana. How are you? Okay, so anything about sun salute or anything about Surya Namaskar that you want to know a little bit more about? It doesn't have a twist. That's why often when I'm doing it with you, I will twist. Thank you, Michelle. Thanks for coming. I really appreciate it. Um, yeah, anything in particular that you realize that you might be doing that's not so conducive to making it a smooth transition, or really smoothing out your body and keeping your body in shape. For a long time, I was really straining over 6 and 8 parts bowing, going down to the floor, because I didn't have the strength in my triceps or my rhomboids, or my shoulder girdle was really weak. And so working with that pose at the wall, like what we call plank at the wall, was super helpful in getting that area. Oh, good, Yakna, good. You have fun, Mary. Better thee than me. Yeah, so I think Surya Namaskar is a really good thing to do every day if as long as you're not in menopause. If you're in menopause, it's a little too heating. Probably better to do something gentler, maybe Chandra, a moon salute. But for those of us who can, it's got a lot of it's got forward bend, back bend, extension, flexion, everything except twisting. So those of you who do, I normally will often into the lunge add a twist to make sure I get that. So if it's my practice in a day, I'm for sure adding a lunge. If that's going to be my major practice for the day, is a few sets of sun salute, just because it's missing that, right? And the inversion part, because I really like to invert, sometimes instead of 5 breaths in mountain pose, I'll take 5 minutes for either the first one or the last one, so that it really serves as weight bearing, bone density growing pose, so that it's hopefully having a good impact on the strength of my bones in the body. Yeah. So anything about it? Were you ready for the cooling breath when we did the sheetali or Sitkari? Did everybody has got that breath and kind of understands it? That's a great breath for when you're tired or overheated. And like, let's just say you went into the grocery store and you're like, when you come out of the grocery store, you get in your car and you sit there and you do 5 or 10 rounds of sheetali or Sitkari before you even turn on the car, right? You just let yourself chill a little bit. Yeah. Oh, good. Good. So Mina, if you go to, you can donate at mountmadonna.org, Mount Madonna Institute, sorry, it's mountmadonnainstitute.org for the free online classes. You can donate there. And you can also donate on my website, which, well, I don't know if you really can, but I do it there. Also on my YouTube channel, just for, because the Mount Madonna, I hope that some of you will donate to Mount Madonna, and I hope you'll take my course. It is a paid course for March if you're the least bit interested. The 5 elements over 5 Wednesdays in March. But and you can also just PayPal me. It's gahooven@hotmail.com. So that's my, I don't have any fancy buttons. Folks down here in Guatemala just put it into my bank account. They put it straight into my bank account. Yeah.
Can you put that on the chat, Ginger?
Yeah. Yeah, I'll do that.
Come with us at Mount Madonna Center. I'll check again today, but I didn't see it advertised yet.
You're breaking up really badly, and I didn't hear a complete sentence. I'm sorry. Uh-oh, and now it's froze. Oh, it's mine. My internet is unstable,
Okay.
it's telling me. So I didn't hear a complete sentence, Jane. You want to do one more time?
I'll write it.
Okay. Sorry, it's like not with me. Damn, I just made you a co-host in case I get tossed out. Yes, I'm sorry. My internet's like it's twice. How to get in touch with Connor? Is that what you're asking me? No. So anybody, anything about the practice, anything that you'd like to discuss? Because you know, oh, the class it should be
very good. Thank you.
You're so welcome. So the class should be, whenever you go to Mount Madonna, you can go to Mount Madonna's, just mountmadonna.org. That takes you to the center website. And on that one, it says online offerings somewhere. You click on that and it takes you into these classes. If you go to Mount Madonna Institute, it's a little bit more toward the top of the page, I think. It says online offerings, and it's got the webinars that have a little bit of a cost, as well as all of the free classes, which is this and Sutra class and Gita class. There's some donation-only classes that Premdas is doing with mandalas and kirtan chanting class. So I would so I'm going to write them both. So www.mountmadonnainstitute.org. Okay. Or yeah. And then the YouTube channel where all of my old videos are is this. And yeah, I think that's it. And you'll see the webinar that's going to be happening in March. That's every Wednesday morning from 8 till 10 Pacific time. So for those of us in Guatemala, it's 10 till 12. And it's we're going to do all 5 elements, and we're going to focus on one at a time. We're going to, of course, talk about all 5 every time, but we're going to focus on one particular one with both mudra, mantra, pranayama, meditation, and asana, of course. So that should be fun. It's two full hours, so I can actually do a full 45 minutes of asana, 15 minutes of pranayama, and 15 minutes of meditation, and 15 minutes of talking. Yay! I'm so thrilled. Yeah. But it does have a cost. I think it's $25 if you do just one, and it's $100 if you do all 5. So $20 a session. And like I've told you, Mount Madonna gets half, I get half, and we can both use it. So feel like it's a good cause. Everything being closed and everything, it's just like so amazing right now. This just a whole situation. I'll tell you all my happy news because I'm getting excited about it. My son is coming down on Sunday for a month. He is, Alex is coming, Manipa. He is vaccinated fully because he's an EMT, and he's both of his vaccines, and he's already worked his you only have to work so many days as an EMT. You don't have to work the whole month. He's finished his days for February. So he's coming the latter half of February, first half of March. So then when he gets back, he'll work his days of March. So yay.
Oh, good.
Yeah. Yeah. I think, will the class be recorded? You mean the 5 elements class? I think so, but I don't know if it's going to only be to participants that you can get it. I would imagine so. Imagine it's going to be something that's available to participants. Yeah. 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 So I'm an excited mama. Yeah.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you to everyone. Hopefully you've got the cooling breath, and I know it's cold where you are now. But it can be a very helpful breath for anger. So just put that in your toolkit and know that either sheetali or Sitkari, they're both efficient. They're both great. It doesn't matter if you can or cannot roll your tongue. You can use a hissing breath. Okay. But both of them are really, really good for cooling down. So the next time you find yourself getting heated about an argument or anything, just try 5 or 10 cooling breaths and see if that helps you a lot. Okay. All right, everybody. So great to see you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'll hopefully see you on Thursday. Have a
Thank you.
wonderful, wonderful day, and I'll see you soon. Okay. Ciao, ciao.